Why is it taking me so long to get good at guitar, and why does it feel like I'm never making any progress? Today's video is going to be all about addressing the elephant in the room when it comes to learning guitar. Why, can't we learn as fast as we, want, and why aren't we sounding as good as we should? So, my name's Nick James, and I'm hopefully going to be, just providing some guitar wisdom in this video. I've been playing guitar for over 25 years and wanted to share some of the things that help me continue to improve and what are some of the things that kind of held me back and, kind of created periods of time where there was just no progress on my guitar playing. So, I started learning guitar, at probably like 6, 7 years old, and by the time I started really uh, learning songs and jamming with friends, there were these things called tabs, and it was really easy to jump on YouTube and watch a quick video on how to learn a song. And what I found is that I was able to technically play almost anything. The guitar songs I was learning eventually got very sophisticated, and some of my favorite artists like Andy McKee, there's just like really, really crazy boundaries you can push with the guitar. And from a technical standpoint, sure, you can actually learn any of these, songs you want just by taking the time to, learn that song note by note with tablature or maybe a YouTube video. But what's going to hold us back is when we just take this concept of just learning songs and not the music, it actually gives us a very limited vocabulary with the guitar. So if you only know the context of certain chords within a song, you could really only play that song. It's not going to be easy for you to pick up the guitar and just start jamming away and playing freely. So, maybe until 5 years ago, maybe 7 to 5 years ago, I started really digging into the music, which really wasn't overly complicated. It's very easy to, get overwhelmed by music and, the components of it because, we didn't go to music school, and, there's so much to possibly learn. But if you take baby steps to start to understand chords, what they're made of, the structures of, maybe the five open chord shapes, this begins to create pathways for you to actually see the guitar in a totally different way. So I can remember one time in 2018, I was on a vacation with my family, and we sat down for dinner, and there was a guitar player, and there was practically no one else at this restaurant. It was beautiful, and uh, we were having a great time. The guitar player was, playing some beautiful fingerstyle, uh, music, and eventually he came over, said hello, and my parents were like, "Oh, go, play the guitar. You've been playing guitar for, a long time. Why don't you play something?" And this was in one of the points in my life where I just wasn't playing a ton of guitar. Of course, I knew, the intro to Stairway to Heaven. I knew some John Mayer songs, but uh, by the time you're ready to pick up a guitar and play, if you haven't played these songs in a long time, unfortunately, you just lose them. It's probably kind of like a language. If you don't speak Spanish after learning Spanish for a couple years in high school, you pretty much completely forget it. So I picked up the guitar and started playing, but there was just really nothing interesting to play. I didn't know what a 2-5-1 was. I didn't know pretty much any interesting chord progression or how to solo. So this was kind of a turning point for me to say, okay, how well do I actually know guitar? And, it really changed my whole view on the instrument and music itself. I was somebody that was kind of against learning the components of music just because I didn't go to music school and I could play guitar. I could technically play anything I wanted, but I was limited to those specific things I learned. And unless I learned those songs and continuously played them, I would forget them as fast as I would learn them. So this is your chance to, open up to the idea of learning the music behind the guitar, because there's a lot of easy things you can do with this instrument. And, if you're a beginner guitarist, you can pick it up and see your progress, really improving rapidly. But if you've been playing for a couple of years, several years, and there's just kind of been no progress, start to dive into the music, because learning songs is great, but if you only know a few songs, you haven't really learned how to solo or play any lead guitar yet, you're kind of limited to the few songs on the fretboard, and there's just so much other stuff that exists here. So I kind of want to take the chance to challenge you to maybe think differently about learning music. Hopefully you're able to get some information from my channel, but go out and find whatever source works best for you. You could read stuff online, you could watch videos, but the bottom line is that if you don't understand the major scale and the components of it and how to build chords, you're really not going to be able to effectively learn how to solo or transpose the beautiful music in your head to the guitar. Because we all have the ability to hum a nice melody, but the great thing is that if you become so in tune with how the guitar works and in tune with how music works, you're able to take that music and actually put it to use right on the guitar in front of you. So if you've watched the video up to this point, thanks for tuning in, and I'm hoping that you're maybe getting something out of my video lessons so far. If you do like them, please subscribe, and there's going to be a lot more to come. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And if you have any friends that play guitar or want to learn more about guitar, send them my way, because we are going to continue to hopefully get more and more detailed as far as how to solo, and how I would learn the pentatonics and major scales and everything like that. So thanks again for watching. If you have any questions, let me know, and looking forward to hearing how your guitar journey progresses once you open up to learning the music, not just simply the songs or tablature, because this note here is a G note, and that's not going to change. This is a G note, 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 and I know where all that's at on the guitar, just because I learned the few kind of systems, like the caged system. And if you just look at this as tablature, and this is the 8th fret of the 2nd string, it doesn't really mean anything. So let's start putting the letters to these notes. Let's start expanding our vocabulary, and then before you know it, you're going to be able to jam and play with the best of them. I've had the chance to play guitar with a lot of great people, and you can tell those that kind of are limited, and the ones that continue to push the boundaries continue to educate themselves, and there's endless information out there. So I'm excited to hear how this progress goes for you, and I'm excited to push myself to learn more. I hope you have a great weekend, and thanks for watching.